How's it going, everyone? It's me, Anthony Marks Jr., aka PRLostGalaxy2014. I have something to tell you before I talk about today's video podcast. I know this video was recorded ahead of time before I would upload any new videos here on YouTube. This is a really sad way to begin one of my videos. I know how Ricky felt with one of his colleagues from college when he started one of his podcasts at the Onyx Tavern a month ago or so. And with me, this is entirely devastating just to see one of the greatest legendary, wrestlers of the WWE pass away, and it was the Ultimate Warrior, and his real name was James Helwig. He was just indicted into the WWE Hall of Fame of 2014 before Wrestlemania this past week, and I grew up seeing the Ultimate Warrior. Well, until he left the WWE, and it's just devastating to see why did he pass away. Now, I'm going to check on Wikipedia or any other sources what was the cause of the Ultimate Warrior's death, and it's sad to see him gone. Now, I know, first of all, we've already lost Big Daddy V and Viscera earlier, like a few months ago, and now the Ultimate Warrior. I just really hate to see people that we knew pass away for no reason because of a certain cause of death. He passed away on April the 8th, 2014, and whatever caused him to pass away, whatever caused him to die, is really shocking, because I've seen enough people last year, especially Hollywood celebrities and some sports figures that I can't think of names, and even lately a few musicians, young up and coming, that haven't even started their life yet, and many that have passed and went straight to heaven. But you do realize it just sucks losing people that we grew up with, and then they go away. Though it states that during his final appearance on Raw, and less than 24 hours before his death, Helwig, I'm going to go by his real name instead of his wrestler name. Helwig gave a speech to the fans and wrestlers past and present as his Ultimate Warrior character. During his speech said, "No WWE talent becomes a legend on their own. Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe their final breath, and if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others and makes them believe deeper in something larger than life, then his essence, his spirit, he will be immortalized by the storytellers, by the loyalty, by the memory of those who honor him and make the running the man did live forever. You are the legend makers of Ultimate Warrior." In the back, I see many potential legends. Some of them with warrior spirits, and you will do the same for them. You will decide if they lived with the passion and intensity so much, so that you will tell your stories and you will make them legends as well. I am Ultimate Warrior. You are the Ultimate Warrior fans, and the spirit of the Ultimate Warrior will run forever. Although he's gone, but his legacy will still live on in a few WWE legends still living here right now, still today, like Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino, Jimmy Snuka, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and those others. But I would be shocked one day if Hulk Hogan passes away. I would really be in a major upset because Hulk Hogan was also one of my wrestling idols. It's just devastating to see these guys, see him go. And Ultimate Warrior, you may rest in peace, and you may be gone, but your legacy will still live on in the WWE universe still today. At all, and all. You know, Jake Roberts and Hulk Hogan are mainly the two of the legends that were in the golden years of WWE in the '80s that were, you know, terrified by his death, and I know it's hard to see him go, like I said. So to accommodate the death of the Ultimate Warrior, I'm going to do a tribute video podcast. Following my co-op podcast commentary of WrestleMania 30, because this year marked the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania in the WWE, and I'm probably also going to do in honor and tribute of the Ultimate Warrior. I'm going to do another podcast, to dedicate to him, on who are my top best, top worst WWE superstars. And although this is the first time on a YouTube channel I made that is mainly devoted to Power Rangers, I decided to do podcasts and videos about other things in pop culture aside from sports, entertainment stuff. And if you're a WWE fan, like one of my YouTube fans, Jordan Ramsey, since he has an image of a WWE superstar on his Facebook and YouTube and stuff. Jordan, if you're watching this, you should be devastated, because this guy was a legend, and he'll always be a legend in our hearts. And once again, may he rest in peace. So me and Austin's video podcast of WrestleMania 30 is coming up in a couple of minutes. So if you guys have any final words to say to the Ultimate Warrior, because this was back on this video, like I said, was recorded in April. So if you have anything memorable to say about the Ultimate Warrior, share some memories, fond memories about him, because this guy shocked me this morning. This guy's death shocked me this morning, and he was also one of my dad's idols growing up back in the '80s, and it's just sad to see him go. So I have nothing else to say, but he was a great guy. He was a legend. He was an awesome legend. I've always loved this theme song. I even play him on Legends of WrestleMania and a few WWE games I got for my PlayStation 3. And I also see him on those videotapes that my dad made about wrestling, with him matching against several superstars. I can't think of some names, but I don't want to say it. So anyway, this was our final farewell to the Ultimate Warrior. And that's it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to start crying, but this is a very emotional moment to start the day of video on the podcasts that I have to set for PRLostGalaxy2014. And this is heartbreaking to see him go. So anyway, may God rest his soul. So I'm Anthony Marsh Jr., aka PRLostGalaxy2014, signing off, and I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes with me and Austin's video podcast on what we thought of WrestleMania 30. See you there in a minute. Thanks for watching this memorial of the Ultimate Warrior. And it was supposed to be stated that legends should never die. Thank you.
Maybe it's over.
You know, WrestleMania was freaking awesome.
It was freaking awesome, really. You know, don't like care about the other characters that brought it.
Yeah, let's start with introduction and introduce ourselves for this podcast.
So let's just get on what just happened.
I'm going to do mine first, though. You don't need an introduction. I'm just going to say your name. Welcome, everyone. It's me, Anthony Marsh Jr., a.k.a. PRLostGalaxy2014 with a new video podcast, and this is part of my 5-month hiatus off YouTube, and I'm posting this on Facebook before I release it on YouTube later this fall. With me, I have my brother Austin, who is also a.k.a. Dark Rider X100. If you don't know who he is, I'm going to remind you again. If you don't know who my brother is on YouTube, he is Dark Rider X100. Please subscribe to his channels. He has a gaming channel, music channel, etc. Today, I'm going to do a WWE-related video podcast. What do you need the fan on for?
Oh, no, I feel sweat for no reason. I don't know. It's just, they shouldn't be on. That's why it's hot. I can't sleep last night. Here I am. I couldn't even sleep.
Well, I tried. At least I still have a big fan in my room.
At least, man, I need a big fan. This sucks.
Yeah, he's on small things and do shit. Anyway, let's talk about the pod. Let's talk about last night's WrestleMania because you see.
Let's get to it.
Okay, WrestleMania 30. If you have seen it, like we did, it was the biggest night that I could, as long as I can remember. I like the way how The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan pulled it off, and, you know, introducing and also reciting 30 years of WrestleMania, because of course Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock are of course legends. And actually what got to me was the introduction of Hulk Hogan, because he was been in like the first 10 WrestleManias
Which makes perfect sense.
And then, as the 90s rolled around, since me and Austin were born in the 90s, I was born in 92, he was in...
94.
Yeah, and with Stone Cold and The Rock, and seeing them being indicted into the Hall of Fame and also being legends of WrestleMania, it's great to see the three together, and also the way how it ended up, because of course, when I recorded on my camera, it took 20 minutes worth of recording, seeing them with the opening ceremony of the WrestleMania. Of course, it was at the largest dome ever imaginable for the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania, the Superdome over at New Orleans. Do you have something about that?
No, I got nothing against it. It was a great introduction to kick it off, though. I thought this was going to be like, Hulk Hogan's going to, you know, tell us what this is going to be all about. So it's on Cold Show, and I'm like, wow, it's like, I thought that's not, well, I got nothing to say about that part.
You know, I also liked the part, though, at the end, when we had theme songs crossing between Hulk's themes. Actually, wait a minute, it was Stone Cold's theme, then The Rock's, I can't remember, I got to go back at the recording.
I forgot.
And when some people in the audience threw beer cans to Stone Cold, so that way the three would have, you know, something to drink, and also
I think it was like two.
Yeah, two apiece, and then smash the beer cans together, because, well, they're in New Orleans, you know, party bra, you know, the town of party bras, and because, you know, Mardi Gras, New Orleans, etc. So, but the major event would have to be Triple H's match against Daniel Bryan.
So I don't know why it went first, but I thought it was gonna be later on. So instead,
but instead it was the Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton and Batista fight that was the triple match, and knowing that they could have like did it earlier instead of later, which was
they have to save the best for last.
So. Yeah, because of course, how we were going to know if Daniel Bryan was going to win those 2 title belts, and knowing that, because I don't care what Triple H and Stephanie McMahon said about Daniel Bryan not being the face of the WWE and all, but they need to give Daniel Bryan a chance.
Yeah, that's what started it.
Back in SummerSlam 7-some months ago, and it's been almost a year, and by the time we'll get to this year's SummerSlam around July or August, that will probably be forgotten or still be hung up by this year's SummerSlam coming up around this summer. So, when I record now, with my camera, I recorded, or I'm going to say DVR camera, I'm going to mix it all up and make people think that. Got no DVR. I know. And when I recorded that match between Triple H and Daniel Bryan last night, it felt like a 30-minute match that would even go on for almost an hour because Triple H was, from the time he kept trying to brutalize Daniel Bryan because he was insulting him and insulting the authority as Triple H and Stephanie.
Well, they got what they deserved, you know. They trained like shit ever since that event in SummerSlam. And then kept on going throughout weeks and weeks until this day.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure they're going to pick it up again for tonight's.
Tonight's Raw, because actually I'm going to be. Yeah, by the time the Raw will come on around at 8 on USA, I'm still going to be on the computer, still posting stuff on Facebook and YouTube. So, and also add some tweets on my Twitter. That match went on for 30 some odd minutes, and because, well, based on the recording time I got it from, and also I also wanted to note about Triple H's introduction when Stephanie McMahon introduced him.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
I did. There was three women standing next to him on Triple H's throne, where he was wearing some king-like skull mask on, looking like Skeletor from He-Man, from the He-Man cartoons or some shit.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, you didn't see it. I saw it, but I didn't get that part on video. But
was it really necessary?
No, it wasn't. Well, I don't know how the people who's watching this video podcast is when they saw it, if they had ordered WrestleMania or went there.
Or they probably saw it also on the WWE.
Yeah, on the WWE Network app. And as soon as we got to the match, it feels like I'm repeating myself here.
Yeah, let's get to what just happened during the match as such.
Yeah, I know. There had been so many submissions. There were so many pin attacks. Daniel tried to win the match until later on, 30 minutes later.
Yeah, but I remember Speed fans, I thought like, okay, Triple H's gonna win it because
Yeah, because Daniel Bryan was insulting Triple H and Stephanie and the authority of the WWE. Now I can just imagine what Vince McMahon would think of with Raw right now. Tonight's Raw, and how he would react to this year's WrestleMania.
Oh, that's if he appears in it. Well, I don't know what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah,
well, just gotta see.
Well, Bleacher Report shows some spoilers of what will happen on Raw and SmackDown every Monday and Friday night. So whatever will happen that I already see on Bleacher Report will happen later on TV when I see it. So actually, I haven't even watched either Raw or SmackDown for a couple of weeks, or even at all for any months lately. Even following what happened with Brock Lesnar and Triple H's match in SummerSlam last year, I believe, that I have not been watching Raw or SmackDown. So anyway, 30 minutes later, Daniel Bryan makes the pin, won, but unfortunately the victory between him and Triple H is short-lived when Stephanie comes out there and bitch slaps the fuck out of Daniel Bryan.
It's no point trying to get upset. He just beat the zero. It's no use. Well, he proved he got what it takes. Ain't no use trying to treat him like shit anymore. He got it. He won. Ain't no use to get mad.
Okay, so and then after that, tell me the match that you saw in between that before we got.
I think it was the Shield versus Kane.
Yeah, but the only part I saw was the Shield won the match between the what's their faces? What's their names?
Yeah, I just said it. Kane and the Outlaw Dogs. That's what their names are.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that match. Now let's get on to the 30-man Royal Rumble that was a tribute to the late Andre the Giant, because now this match was my favorite out of the entire out of last night's event of WrestleMania. The Big Show and Sheamus were the only two that had intros coming into the ring that night, last night. Everyone else was already in the ring: Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, Mark Henry, The Great Khali, The Miz, Cody Rhodes, and the rest, and so many others of the 30 men that were in there, to name a few. Now, the Big Show. Now, my reaction was when I saw the Big Show against Cesaro at the end. I was expecting the Big Show to win because the Big Show.
He's big. He's tall.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean he's gonna win.
Yeah. Let's not forget the Great Khali and Mark Henry are also the tallest in the WWE. But the Big Show is bigger than them. But pretty much more like an inch taller. But because when I look at the Big Show, I think of him with him wearing that black wrestling outfit of his all the time. It makes me think of him as Andre the Giant of our generation, even though we never knew who Andre the Giant was when he was alive. But he was way before our time, but he died. I'll look him up later on. But what was interesting and so hilarious was the way how. Now let's talk about Kofi Kingston's bit in WrestleMania. You start first.
Yeah, it was like, okay, remember the part where he got thrown out? He just flew off like something like that until his foot was on the stairs. Like, hey, look at my feet. I'm still out. I'm not out.
Flying like a Jamaican Superman almost.
Yeah, that's what looks like.
Hey, look at me! I ain't done yet. I'm still going.
Man, I'm surprised.
It was like a miracle for Kofi that he didn't get eliminated, almost.
Yeah, it's like
until he got thrown out by whoever threw him out in the ring.
Yeah, I felt like, okay, that's impossible. That's impossible. I never seen anybody do something like that.
Yeah. And then we had Mark Henry, Goldust, Alberto Del Rio. Now Alberto Del Rio, he tried to knock the Big Show out of the ring, but someone later on knocked him out of the ring. Knowing Alberto Del Rio, he is so obsessed with trying to win something, certain achievements in the WWE ring, like Money in the Bank, World Heavyweight Championship belts, and WWE Championship belts, and all those things. Alberto Del Rio, I can't describe him when he does that. It just gets to me. And then now let's just fast forward to the Big Show Cesaro part. Now it's unbelievable. Last night, Cesaro, that Switzerland dude, a guy who's like at the height of 5 foot something, much shorter over the Big Show's actual height, because the Big Show is taller than everyone.
Well, they call him like a superhuman.
A Swedish Superman almost.
Yeah, like
that he can throw a giant gorilla-sized man out of the ring and got the Andre the Giant trophy. Unfreaking believable. Good thing I got it on video so I can look at it over again on my PlayStation 3 and just see how the match turned out at the end, because the match probably lasted for like 25 minutes. And then just saw him get the trophy. And also I like the theme music behind the fight, because now when he got the trophy, I've always wanted to know what that theme music was, because that music sounded awesome. I so wanted it.
Yeah, I think his intro music or
it wasn't his intro music, because on YouTube when I look up Cesaro's theme music, it wasn't really his theme music when he got the trophy. The part where he got the.
And I don't know what the hell happened.
I guess that was stock music from the WWE made for in case of anyone wins the Andre the Giant trophy, memorial trophy. I don't think I could ever find the name of that music, because that music when I saw Cesaro get got the trophy, that music, that was the best music I've heard for whenever if it's regarding a WWE superstar or when someone wins a match. But it was some great music right there. I loved it. Like I said, I so want an MP3 of that track.
Yeah, whatever the name of it. It's very.
If someone on YouTube who's been watching WWE live, because I don't think that music that was playing at the end was Cesaro's music, because when I heard.
I'm not sure how it's been heard, but who knows?
After this video is over and when we get to the playback, I'll tell you. I'll fast forward to the entire match and get to the end of the Big Show, Cesaro's part. So.
Yeah, that part. Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on with the next match, which was.
Well, are we talking about the Diva ones? We could skip that, because
I'll talk about the Diva stuff a little bit, but
we're not talking about that invasion. That's just
let's get on with the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
That's my favorite match of them all throughout that. But my second major match after the to where Stan Bryan went. So let's talk about Undertaker and Brock Lesnar's fight.
Now the opening video intro of Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman was talking about it, because I just hate watching Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar together. It's like, I've been saying this to myself, a few times when I get the chance of watching Raw, and when I see Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman with Brock, when I look at Paul Heyman, now I don't, no offense to anyone, or anyone who likes Paul Heyman or anything, when I just look at Paul Heyman, he looks like, I'm afraid to say, a bald-headed woman who is like Brock Lesnar's he-mama. Okay, well.
Oh yeah, okay, we get the whole
Yeah, I know. And then we see Brock Lesnar. Yeah, when you see Brock Lesnar, he's like Paul Heyman's mama's boy.
Well, he's supposed to be like his manager or coach or something.
Yeah. But as soon as we saw him, watching Brock Lesnar fight The Undertaker, and the more times he kept brutalizing him, did you hear how he screams like a bitch when he was telling Paul was telling Brock to beat him up and brutalize and break his bones and stuff?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck you? Oh yeah. Yeah, fucking.
Now the Undertaker's intro.
Yeah,
That was the longest I've ever seen in the
You
WrestleMania.
said it was like 7 minutes or
7 or 8 minutes, something like that. But
that just
remember when we saw WrestleMania 25 in 2009?
Yeah, it was like between him and Edge.
No, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker were fighting in WrestleMania 25.
Okay, I don't remember now.
I have the tape of it until my VCR clunked out in 2009. So.
Or I thought it was like Undertaker versus Edge. I don't know.
Edge was out of the company. It was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker back in WrestleMania 25. If I can find a clip of that match on YouTube, if it's still available, then I'll show you that The Undertaker was fighting Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. But this is WrestleMania 30, where...
No, wait, that was 2008 when that. So.
No, 2000...
No, I'm not talking about him versus Shawn. I was talking about Edge versus Taker. But that was 2008. Yeah, it was 2008.
Well, I don't know, because I never saw WrestleMania 24, so...
Okay, let's get back to topic.
Now, The Undertaker... now, this was a very historic moment for Brock Lesnar. For the first... In The Undertaker, for the first time in 20-odd-some years in WrestleMania history, with The Undertaker being the main event all the time, Brock Lesnar dominated The Undertaker, and his streak won.
Yeah,
and the streak came to a close.
Yeah, you seen how the crowd reacting like...
Yeah, everybody was like, what's this? What? No, man, The Undertaker's not...
The fuck is this? What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar was supposed to win over The Undertaker, because every year when The Undertaker would show up at WrestleMania, he would win the streak.
Yeah,
he would knock out... He would... I mean, why do you think in the past 20-some years of his streak of WrestleMania, he knocked out...
Kane.
He knocked out Kane. He knocked out Shawn Michaels. He knocked out Edge. He knocked out whoever he knocked out, like last year's WrestleMania, I think CM Punk.
He knocked out Triple H twice.
Yeah, like 2, 3 sometimes.
I don't remember now.
I don't remember. I never seen the past WrestleManias that before 25, or the ones that Dad got.
I think he fought Triple H around last year or some WrestleMania or something.
I don't think so. No, I think he fought CM Punk last year at WrestleMania.
Well,
that man had 21-0. I don't know. But I can't believe Brock Lesnar, for the first time in WrestleMania history, someone who would go up straight in the face
of the dead,
eye to eye to the dead man himself, and then strike him down for 20 minutes to just knock The Undertaker's lights out. That was the first time anyone would dominate over The Undertaker.
Well, that's a sign. He's too old. The Undertaker's too fucking old.
He's like 50-some years old, and he should just retire.
Fuck you.
You know, The Undertaker should just retire. He did his best, tried to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I can congratulate The Undertaker because, you know, he's a living legend.
I mean, he should have been dumped for next year's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and also whoever...
No, because of this damn shrink, that's why.
Yeah, I know, and then whatever other achievement, and all these other achievements, because, you know, when we was little, we've seen The Undertaker, and we've seen how he was beating all these other superstars like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock.
Damn it! Crack pancake! It was retired. I'm a guy now. Fuck you.
No,
we were talking about
Brock Lesnar's win over The Undertaker, 21-1.
Yeah, the part with the...
You know how...
Rookie erections, what the fuck is this? The fuck is this?
You know how I feel when I get interrupted? You know how I feel when I get interrupted when I do videos like this?
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we are. I just pressed the record button. So, following Brock Lesnar's exit, The Undertaker, you see how he was when he was trying to get up. He was holding on to the apron ropes, and because, you know, his legs felt like his legs were broken. His back was broken, his rib cage was broken. Well, let's face it, Brock Lesnar broke The Undertaker.
Yeah, that's what everybody's gonna be.
You know, and also, you know what gets me when I look at Brock Lesnar? When I think of Brock Lesnar, he's like the bane of the WWE.
There's no telling the person buying bane ass.
Yeah, you know, like Tom Hardy's bane ass, because, you know, normally...
No, it's not gonna work. He'll kick your ass.
Yeah, but you know why The Dark Knight Rises is still my favorite Batman. Because every time I look at, when I think of Brock Lesnar, you know, when I think of Bane, I think of Brock Lesnar. Or whenever I think of Brock Lesnar, I think of Bane. So anyway, congratulations to The Undertaker. He has spent the past 20-some years trying to, you know, make his long-running streak keep going, but unfortunately, it's over for The Undertaker.
It's now 21
to 1.
Or 2-1-1.
20, yeah, but it would have been almost to 22 because this was my debate. If Brock Lesnar wins, the streak is beat. if Brock Lesnar loses, the streak continues with The Undertaker. But unfortunately, no. And as soon as we saw Brock Lesnar win, it was over for The Undertaker.
Yeah, you know what some people say certain things have to be.
Now, I know once when this podcast is finished, and once people send in comments, people are going to react to this moment because they're going to
figure it out. Yeah.
Because they're going to get throwing negative, feedback about why did Brock Lesnar win over The Undertaker. That's not supposed to happen. The Undertaker always wins WrestleMania. Blah blah blah.
I don't think it's gonna happen this time. It's just I don't know.
The Undertaker should just retire in peace. He is done.
Yeah. He doesn't do no more.
He's done. He's like 50 something. To me he looks like he's 60 something right now. He's not. But yeah. Now I'm just gonna cut the Diva portion of the event short.
It's not worth the time.
Yeah, but the Diva Battle Royale stuff. I was expecting the Bella Twins to win the belt because AJ Lee. Oh my God.
Okay, let's just start with this part because she just forced that black chick to
Yeah, she had the submission by grabbing onto her neck while her neck was across to that chick's stomach and then just won the belt. She just cheated.
Yeah, she just grabbed that black chick's arm like that. That's just messed up.
She's
a very.
Now before you continue talking, I have to state this, but
Please do.
I do not like AJ Lee in the WWE. I mean, if you like her, despite being a Divas champion, that's you. I don't see why Dad can stand AJ. She's not all that.
I don't like her.
She's now, no offense to anyone who's a fan of AJ or anything, but she is crazy. I'm sorry, but she is just nuts. Why can't she give any of the other divas that was in the ring a chance to win the Diva Championship belt? She's probably gonna keep the belt until I guess SummerSlam, and then by the end of the year, and then move on to 2015. Yeah, because every year when there's a new diva in the WWE, their contract only goes on for 5 years. After 5 years, they ban loose to somewhere else, like TNA or something. And then because I also want to state this about AJ and what she reminds me. Remember Daphne from TNA? That's who AJ reminds me of. But except AJ Lee is no Daphne, okay? Because if I can imagine AJ wearing Daphne's makeup, I don't know.
Whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah, but I would have expected any of the Bella Twins win the championship belt. But and remember, and also before that, Vicky Guerrero came out, and she was standing on some sort of stool.
Yeah, she was walking.
Yeah. Did you hear how we don't want to imitate her wicked laugh like the Wicked Witch of the West because Vicky Guerrero is the Wicked Witch of WWE. And when I just think of her, I can think of her as the Wicked Witch of the West. I can think of her as whatever. So, or more like the Rita Repulsa of the WWE. Okay, now I'm talking Power Rangers for that one.
Okay, let's move on.
Anyway, now the major event was. Yeah, but the major event was Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista. You start first.
Okay, when I thought about when this match was started, I thought I much about it. Like, Ben, I think Batista's gonna win because Daniel Bryan in this position. I don't think he's gonna win because of this. What happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also wanted to bring up that I didn't bring up earlier was when Daniel Bryan won, when Triple H and Stephanie was beating the crap out of him. Triple H got a steel chair and bashed Daniel Bryan's shoulder like mad. He was really getting it. I mean, you can see the anger inside Triple H's bones and even the anger from his eyes when he bashed Daniel Bryan's shoulder. Now, let me talk about Randy Orton's introduction. The band that plays his theme song, Voices.
Yeah, I don't know what their name is, bro.
That was the first time I ever seen them on a WrestleMania stage ever.
Wait, don't forget. Wait, what's your thoughts? There was a band who played the Wyatt family song match.
Oh yeah, I forgot a match. John Cena versus the Wyatts.
Can we just do that real quick?
Yeah, because I don't like John Cena, and I do not like the Wyatts. John Cena. Now, he won the match against the Wyatts, and when I just looked at John Cena smiling when he had his arm up in the air saying, "I did it all," when I just look at him, I look at him as the Mark Wahlberg or Mark of the WWE because knowing John Cena and his nature and aesthetic of his character, his self-entitled character. He is like the Mark Wahlberg of the WWE. Every time you see him do that again, that "you can't see me, the champ is here," that crap.
Yeah,
I'm getting so fed up with John Cena now. Actually, I've been fed up with him ever since he came into the company since 2002, 12 years ago. Now, the Wyatt family, now I gotta say, they are like the Duck Dynasty cast of the WWE. I can't stand the Wyatts. I can't. Dad can, but we can't. I just can't stand it. Even when their introductions, every time I watch them on Raw and SmackDown, it's
just creepy rabbit, dude wearing rabbit.
Yeah, wearing a rabbit mask. And then you got one of the members of the Wyatts wearing this long, big-nosed duck crane.
No, I think it's just this one member with the brown, ginger, orange, red hair.
Yeah, like, what's his name? The one-man band baby guy.
Heath Ledger.
You mean Heath Ledger? You mean Heath
Slayer. I don't remember.
It's like, when you say Heath, it's like you're thinking Heath Ledger, like Heath Ledger is a WWE superstar in the movie actor. But Heath Ledger's dead. It's Heath Slayer, not Ledger-esque.
I don't know why God's name makes sense.
Now, if you guys like the Wyatt family, that's you. But me, I don't like them. They just remind me too much of the Duck Dynasty guys. I'm sorry.
It's because of the beards.
Yeah, especially the main leading guy who's coming out with that stupid hat, with that stupid lantern lamp thing that he pulls out, and then when the stadium gets dark, every time we watch him and his family in the action before he comes into the ring, he comes out telling the audience that they're here, and then blows the lantern, and then the creepy theme music is played, and they come out and just fucks everything up. Yeah. I remember one time on Raw or SmackDown that the Shield beat the Wyatts. That was, well, at least that's one match I've seen from something outside from what I watch weekly right now, like watching shows like Blue Bloods and Two Broke Girls and Big Bang Theory every night on CBS, or even Arrow on the CW. Now let's just move on with Daniel Bryan versus Batista.
Yeah,
I've got to Punk, Randy Orton. Continue.
Yeah,
Daniel Bryan, you know when he was in a bad condition?
He's going to lose because of that condition, you know?
Yeah, because his arm was brutalized. I mean, even the match went on almost until like 11 o'clock last night because, you know, I thought the match would go on until like 12 or something because the TV guide bar for WrestleMania on pay-per-view on DirecTV felt like it would go on for like 5 hours from 7 or 6 hours, 7 to 12 or something. I was wrong. It was 7 to 11. Like 7 to 11 the score. Big score. As the match continued, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon came out unexpected, and this time Triple H had a different attire on inside the ring while
even. He's trying to screw Daniel Bryan to try and win.
Yeah, because the authority wants Daniel Bryan to be kicked out of the WWE and not have his yes movement being made. So they decided, well, if Daniel Bryan loses, the authority wins forever, or something, but if Daniel Bryan wins, the yes movement continues.
So he just went knocked down, that referee fucked him up.
You know the rules, but you said, now let's talk about this off only for a moment. Austin, you said that one day in the future, you said you were probably in the WWE.
I watched too, but not anymore. I didn't feel like doing it because, you know, how it is now.
Yeah, I know.
So the same person every week.
Yeah, like if you were fighting Big Show every week with John Cena or Randy Orton or CM Punk.
Also, they make you fight someone beyond their weight.
And height, in height too, like the Big Show and Great Khali and Cesaro.
But I haven't went to the gym to do stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll think about it when we move out of this.
I'm going to go ahead and find a gym.
I don't know what I'm going to do in my future. Probably so. Yeah, and then, of course, and then also as soon as when we saw Daniel tumble Stephanie, Triple H, and the referee that.
What's his name? Daniel somehow.
And then all three of them got injured. Batista and
left, which is I'm glad they left.
Yeah, because and also all night long last night saying Stephanie McMahon watching Daniel Bryan. Why does it look at Stephanie McMahon? She just wants to knock him out permanently.
She just don't want him to win.
Yeah, Triple H neither.
Let her what happened with Bret Hart.
Yeah, because when I think of Daniel Bryan now. And when I see, because I can hardly remember from childhood with Bret Hart why he got screwed over by Vince McMahon when he screwed himself.
That's why
back in 1998 or 99, I believe.
It was during his match with Shawn.
Yeah, his match with Shawn Michaels that year, 15 something.
But they both artists, but Vince didn't.
Bret Hart brought it upon himself back then. And that's why if Daniel Bryan gets screwed over, then that means he screwed himself.
It's like if the father screws up this guy back then, that means his job. That Stephanie screws Dan, so that's basically more the this screwed this.
It didn't, but seeing Daniel Bryan get screwed is like a homage to a legendary homage to how it happened with Bret Hart years ago. So
who knows if that is a homage?
It would have been a homage. I would expect it last night, and Triple H came out there and Daniel Bryan spit Triple H in the face.
No, he just
like how Bret Hart did with Vince.
Yeah, the problem before they even left, Triple H went under the ring, drank out his favorite
sledgehammer.
Yeah, till Daniel elbowed him and hit him with the sledgehammer.
And knocked him out cold again.
And then dive on him and hit him, and they all laughed. And after that, got Batista and Brady teamed up, trying to take Danny Boy out, put Daniel off the table where the commentators were at. Then they, went body slam on him, and they both got hurt. Then that's where you got the medical team, whatever came in. Yeah, the medical team, and then during that little bit, Batista and Randy Orton were still wrestling, but as soon as the medical team was about to take Daniel Bryan to the hospital, Daniel got out of the thing, and but knowing that he's still in a terrible condition. He'll never give up. That's what it happens. Like, he's not going to give up. He's not going to stop. Now before I cut you off and make you speak again, I need to make a brief comment about this. About the part when Daniel, Batista, and Randy were over by where the commentators were, Michael Cole and Jimmy Lawyer and J.D. Onos were. When Batista was doing the Batista bomb with Daniel Bryan, when he was about to attempt it, and Randy Orton went up to use the stools and do this double wicked move, the crowd. You heard what they were chanting, who they were chanting. CM Punk! CM Punk! Yeah, but he's not in the company. So why are they cheering for CM Punk when CM Punk is not with us? Boy, if they look up some other news sites about CM Punk and why he left, I mean, they should have never let him go. But if he was at WrestleMania last night, because based on hearing the entire crowd of 76,000 people in the Superdome last night cheering for CM Punk, he would have been there and saved Daniel Bryan's ass for a little bit, and then went back and left. But no, it didn't work. Yes, of course, and we're going to fast forward to the final moment where, what was Daniel Bryan paying? Batista or Randy Orton? I forgot. I think it was. I felt like Orton went outside of me. I fell asleep.
So I fell asleep. But as soon as when I heard the third pin, bam, Daniel Bryan won WrestleMania and won the 2 championship belts. And for the first time in 30 years of WrestleMania, well, actually the first time in our life of watching WrestleMania of WWE, Daniel Bryan would actually make it to WrestleMania and made WrestleMania history. History was in the making. 30 years worth of spectacular entertainment, and seeing someone who was worthy to be the new face of the WWE after we've had so many people that would be like a pre-John Cena, pre-CM Punk, pre-Randy Orton, whoever, Rock, and then whatever, and seeing Daniel Bryan win WrestleMania and win that triple match and won the 2 championship belts. The names, please, of the belts?
It was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was a double.
Yeah, a double belt. Now, I was surprised. I cried a little that Daniel Bryan won because, and I said to myself, and when I did the middle finger saying, screw you Triple H, screw you Stephanie, Daniel Bryan is now the new face of WWE, but I don't know how the audience right now hearing this, watching this podcast is going to react to that.
If they're going to watch it, this podcast.
Yeah.
Or hear it, whatever.
Now since we're done talking about the matches, let's talk about some of the back.
Wait, hold on. Was there a pre-show match?
The pre-show match was the pre-show stuff was the triple.
Now that was before. It was like the tag team chicken. Oh shit, I didn't see it.
Now let's talk about some of the backstage stuff.
Okay, let's get to that.
Well, I'll talk about one, and then we'll wrap this up.
Let's go backstage.
Sergeant Slaughter, Ricky Steamboat Dragon, and that other guy, the one I forgot. They were playing with the new WWE Sunset. You've seen the toy commercial?
Yeah, I see what it is. They're going to come up that front.
Yeah, because seeing all those old legends from the WWE that were way before our time, and by the time before we were even born and grew up with, and then until they left when we got Stone Cold, Rock, and others.
And they left
X-Pac and Triple H and those guys back in our day. But what tripped me out was when I saw.
That was I think the second.
No, the first backstage one I saw. When I saw Braun Simmons. Oh my God.
yeah, that too.
I could have got that one video, but I decided to
enough time.
Yeah, because I had too many videos to make, and also finish up my Power Rangers Lost Galaxy movie for the channel thing, whatever. And as soon as I saw Randy Orton, Braun Simmons. Braun Simmons, and then as soon as I saw him, because every time he says the D word, he has to take his breath for 3 seconds or 5 at least, like he always does before he moves.
What the he came from for? Like,
yeah, I know. He just appeared out of nowhere and just scared the heck out of the 3, playing the miniature playsets like, dude, these 50-year-old men playing with the WWE miniature action figures set.
I don't think he said it. He just went to
yeah, but in his head, because the only word Braun Simmons could ever say is, dude.
Like, real life, he might talk, but
every time I look at Braun Simmons' t-shirt, I've always, every time I look at Braun Simmons' shirt, I always ask myself, I always want one of his shirts. Because every time I see the word band in that shirt, even though it's a solo shirt, but I can go and custom make and do a custom version of it, but as a t-shirt with 2 sleeves. Because you know how I'm not wearing, knowing that I don't like my sleeveless shirts that much. Yeah. So this concludes our podcast of how we thought about WrestleMania 30. And this was overall, I have to say, WrestleMania 30 as a whole, this was the best one I have seen since, like those 2 WrestleManias of 3 that Dad made to VHS to itself, and it was.
Okay, you did one which is on 25.
Yeah, in my room. But WrestleMania 30 was good. This was my channel, and I picked a few matches, like the Triple H, Daniel Bryan match, and the Roman match, and that was it.
Is that right up on the radio? Is it right now?
I don't know if the whole show of WrestleMania 30 is up on YouTube.
There's only some clips in the matches, or just a little.
Yeah, I know if it's on YouTube and the copyright stuff. Yeah, it's pain in the ass. So I think you guys heard enough. I've heard me and Austin's podcast. I know me and Austin need to get out and do some podcasts together, some more about other things. And I know this is my brother's last year watching Power Rangers, and I know that this is relevant. When we do a Power Rangers Super Mega Force post podcast about the Mega War, I'm still gonna watch Dino Charge, by the way. So, and then once when Dino Charge comes, you can just turn the TV to playing PlayStation or something. So
all the fans.
But yeah, guess what? Jude Lin been working on Power Rangers Turbo 2. RPM's coming back to Dino Charge. Yeah, I know. So if Dino Charge, but if Dino Charge does better, that means I can be inclined to watch Power Rangers for the next 20 years or so.
Or all fans on how that got to be, right?
Yeah, because that's
and Sarah stuff.
Yeah, I know, because you're not talking about WWE Power Rangers. I know my chance. Yeah. But anyway, I'm Anthony Martin here, aka PRLostGalaxy2014, with my brother Austin, aka WrestleMania XXX. Thanks for watching our WrestleMania 30 podcast. I know we had an awesome time last night watching it, talking about a few matches. It was awesome. I want to hear what you guys have to say about WrestleMania 30, what match you like and what match you didn't like. Yeah, I know because you guys are probably having an uproar about the Brock Lesnar winning over Undertaker issue. I know you guys are going to talk about that in the comment section a lot. So, yeah, if you guys are going to come and comment about that if you saw WrestleMania last night. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys right back here, or just me only, and he'll be doing whatever he does. Next time, Anniversary Conference Hall is now closed.
Goodbye.
What did you say?
That's my outfit. Goodbye, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So, once again, Terror Ventures Conference Hall,
Goodbye, get the fuck out of here.
and it's now closed.